Well, hi. Wanted to throw a little something up about this. Since the official trailer for the second Quiet Place movie came out, and I made a little mock-up review for the previous teaser, I figured I'd give my proper thoughts on where things appear to be going. The trailer opens with what the first movie probably should have opened with. We get a day one card, and we're shown Evelyn driving her kids down a busy street while trying to figure out what's happening with her radio crackling and acting weird, as well as several people running and panicking in the streets. She stops behind a car that's blowing its horn because yeah. And then one of the audio, heary, scary monster things drops down on top of it. Pretty decent setup. I think it would definitely be in the story's interest to start at the base and work its way up. This is really what the first movie should have been. I say this not because it would have been impossible to make a well-written story about the aftermath of this event, but more that it might have been easier, and it could have been a good way to nip a couple of those narrative problems in the bud, namely the monster's selective as hell hearing abilities. We could have learned what the aliens can and cannot hear at the same time the protagonists do, and we wouldn't be left with the ambiguous, well, better be quiet statement that is routinely stretched and changed based on what dramatic scene we need to happen. Obviously, talent is still required to make it work, and that's not even to say that the writers would abide by the rules that they set up, because they surely didn't do that in the first film. But I think we're working with a somewhat better base here. Anyway, I guess the movie's actually going to be taking place immediately after the events of the first film. We see Evelyn, Regan, and Marcus all emerging from their house and walking down the property. They're wearing the same outfits they had at the end of part 1, and Evelyn has the shotgun, so yes, we're resuming right where we left off. This building is on fire. Not sure why. I guess it just exploded when we weren't looking. Anyway, the film apparently seems to tell the story about the remaining Abbotts leaving their farm. I'm not sure what the idea behind that is, but at least the family has a way to protect themselves. The monster's weakness has been unveiled, and they can actually fight back against them now, right? Well, not really, because I guess they just kind of forgot that that was a thing they could do. This is going to be interesting. In order for them to actually make these things threatening again, they're going to have to address the fact that they have a surefire way to kill them now. I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they won't just pull another we can talk normally under the waterfall move and just not explain why they aren't using Regan's hearing aid everywhere they go. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Good thing the baby is being completely silent, by the way. I almost forgot it was even in the trailer. I can't speak on it now, obviously, but I wonder if they'll have to deal with the fact that the baby isn't exactly filled in on the be quiet memo. They're walking down this railroad track with absolutely nowhere they could go to hide. If this baby were to randomly decide to start screaming at any moment, as babies tend to do, they would be incredibly screwed. So they hit a trap, which dropped some bottles down. Don't know how the bottles were silently tied to one another, and the Abbotts run, only to get caught by a new group of characters who do the whole finger up to their lips thing, because it's almost a theme at this point for every character to do that. We're shown one of the monsters, and it really just makes me look forward to seeing how they're going to tackle the hearing aid problem, because these things are a joke. They pose very little threat now, so long as Regan is wearing her hearing aid, which she is. So why isn't the monster being affected by it? Oh, I can't wait for this movie. The rest of the trailer from here on out is essentially quick shots, the usual thing to get people excited. It would appear that we're going to be looking more at the wider effect of the monsters on the world, as well as the morality of the people that have survived up until now.
The people that are left, they're not the kind of people worth saving.
This has the potential to be incredibly interesting, but it also has the potential to raise a whole new bundle of questions and issues. I do actually look forward to this. The first movie, as I said, has an incredible concept, and if they were to really just iron out the dumb issues they have, they might actually be able to come up with a pretty good movie. I hope that this movie overcomes the issues that plagued the first one. I hope that solutions that are given are not ignored, and I hope that the monsters stop only hearing what the plot requires them to. I'm not really holding my breath for that last one, but maybe they can at least deliver us with some halfway intelligent characters. Hopefully. Which brings me to the end. Thank you to anyone who has watched my videos, and to those who want more, know that more is on the way. I have so many videos I want to make. At this point, I am currently working on a video for Child's Play, The Possession of Hannah Grace, Joker, Truth or Dare, and Down a Dark Hall. I don't know when the Child's Play video will be out, but I'm making significant progress on Hannah Grace, and will hopefully have that out fairly soon. I am also undertaking 2 massive projects, one of which is a narrative breakdown of an old cartoon I used to watch as a child, and the other being a narrative breakdown of every Star Wars movie. It's going to take a very long time to finish, but hopefully once I do, I'll be posting a little more regularly and maybe people will actually start noticing what I'm doing. Terminator, Marvel, Alien, Blumhouse movies that are really bad, Star Wars. I want to eventually make videos on all of them, because I'm someone who loves movies and stories, be them good or terrible, and I love talking about them. I love talking about the mechanics and the elements that make them tick. I don't pretend to be perfect at it, but that's another reason I love making these videos, because improving my craft is very important to me, and I hope you'll join me for future installments. And so with that, I thank you, and I'll see you next time.